Hey there, it's Julie with FoodStorageMadeEasy.net, and I'm really excited to be showing you how to use the new 3-month Excel worksheet to plan your 3-month food supply. Now, I'm a little bit embarrassed because I had to admit that the old one we had, while it worked really well, wasn't that easy. And it just dawned on me the other day that I could do it this way and it would be way easier to understand and user-friendly. So I admitted I was wrong and I remade it, and I'm excited to share it with you. So let's get started. To get the spreadsheet to plan your 3-month food supply, you go to FoodStorageMadeEasy.net and then you hit on the baby steps page. And when you get to the baby steps page, you're going to want to hit on baby steps 3. And on baby steps 3, we are going to have the new Excel spreadsheet down in here. So you want to download that, and when you get it, come on back, and here we're going to go. We're going to start. So up in the corner here, we have the steps outlined. So in case you need to refer back to it, go ahead. So the first step is to fill out the meal ideas you want for 3 months. And now in this plan, what we do is we plan 30 days, and then the spreadsheet automatically, so don't do this, but it automatically calculates, multiplies each ingredient by 3 to get the full 3 months. So we plan for a month, and then it gets the full 3 months. So I'm going to go ahead and show you for dinners, because dinners are a little bit more exciting and have more ingredients. So if you scroll over, you'll get to dinners. And so I'm going to plan, let's say, spaghetti one day, and then just click on that cell and you write in what you're planning, maybe chili another day, and then the next cell, click on it, and let's say a rice bake with chicken. Okay, so that is the first thing. Then the next thing you're going to want to do, it says up here, is fill out the ingredients you will need for those meals in this first column, column A over here. So let's go back to those so we can see what they were. Now here I'm going to go ahead and say this is for your 3-month supply. So you're not necessarily going to put your fresh produce or your milk or even your long-term food storage. You can if you want, but with wheat and rice and oats and beans, maybe you're going to have so much of it on hand. You're planning your supply with your actual long-term supply, long-term food storage calculator. So that's up to you whether you want to put long-term in, or even the produce, but this mostly is for the 3-month stuff, the canned goods, that kind of thing. So for spaghetti, I'm just going to go ahead and put in spaghetti noodles as an ingredient. And then 1 pound of ground beef, spaghetti sauce. Let's say if we were to have a can of corn with that meal. Now chili. Again, a pound of ground beef. However, if it's already there, I'm not going to go ahead and write it again. This ingredients list is the master list, and you only put each ingredient in once. And then a can of tomatoes, and then a can of beans if you purchase beans in your cans. If you do it in your long-term food storage, again, you can decide whether or not you want that in here. And then chili seasoning mix. Notice I'm putting it in how much of it. So a can of corn, or a can of tomatoes, a can of beans. I should have put a can of corn. And then for the rice bake, let's go ahead and say chicken. I put in the stuff I can leave in my freezer, even though it's fresh. If I put it in my freezer, then I'll count it in this plan. And then I need an onion soup mix for that. I'm not going to put in rice because I have that in my long-term food storage, and I track that differently with the food storage calculator, which we'll be getting into more later. So anyways, so those are all the ingredients that I would need for those meals. And then I simply come over here, and in the spaghetti column itself, I put the quantity that I will need in that meal. So for spaghetti noodles, we have a small family. I actually only need half a box of spaghetti noodles when we have spaghetti. So I put 0.5. For a pound of ground beef, we use a whole 1, so I use 1. Spaghetti sauce, I use a whole 1. Again, I should have put here, instead of spaghetti sauce, put can of spaghetti sauce, because this is, going to be my master list. And then 1 can of corn. And that's it. Now, so I go to chili. For chili, I don't use spaghetti noodles. I do use a pound of ground beef. I don't use a can of spaghetti sauce. Let's say I do have corn. Put 1 there. A can of tomatoes, and then a can of beans, and 1 chili seasoning mix. So that's that meal there. Those are all the ingredients I need. And as you can see, actually I'll wait for that. Let's do rice bake real fast. For rice bake, Chicken breast, I would need, let's say 4, and then onion soup mix, 1. So the next step is to watch how all of these things filled out themselves automatically. I have the number I need for the 1 month total. Automatically, it made multiplied by 3 to get the 3 month total. Now, the next thing, that this is kind of an extra bonus you can do, if you want to put in the price and size, you can use this as a tracking sheet for sales. So for example, if ground beef is normally, you know, $2.99 a pound, so that's $2.99 for 1 pound, then it multiplies how much I'll need to spend to get 3 months worth of ground beef. And then the next column, if I know I already have 1 pound of ground beef in my freezer, I can go ahead and put 1. So now I know I only actually need to purchase 5. So if you do the price and size, you're going to get the price you need for 3 months. And if you do how many you have on hand, you'll have an inventory tracking sheet also. So those are optional, but they're kind of nice, because then what you can do is go ahead and print, and it'll print out exactly how many you need. You can shove this in your food storage room. Every time you go shopping, you can change it, or you can change it on the spreadsheet, on the computer itself, and you'll know how many you still need to buy. So then it makes it a real tangible plan for you. It's pretty simple. If you have any questions, feel free to email us at info@foodstoragemadeeasy.net and have fun with this. And just as a side note for printing for you guys, when you go ahead and print it, I've set it up so that it only prints from here over on the first page. Depending on how many ingredients you have, it may or may not be 1 or 2 pages. It can print out these other side things, but unless you're a real Excel expert, it could end up printing out hundreds of pages. You might want to be careful. So go ahead and say when you're printing to print page 1 through 2 and see what happens. And if you need to print page 3, then go ahead and do that. Again, if you have any more questions about, advanced printing stuff, you can email us and I can try to walk you through it. But just for the basic, wanted to let you know what it was, and good luck, and let us know how it goes.